covering climate, weather, and the industrial enterprise from Penn State Meteorology. Here is Up in the Air.
Hello everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Up in the Air. I am student meteorologist Logan Williams, and joining us this week is a special guest, Salix Iverson.
Hi Logan, thanks for having me on the show this week. I'm Salix Iverson. I'm a junior in the Department of Meteorology, and the fun fact about me is that I'm president of Campus Weather Service.
Awesome. Well, it's nice to have you here helping us out. She will be helping in our segment Update in the Air, where we have a wide array of stories, anywhere from flooding across the United Kingdom and parts of the United States to a record broken in Antarctica. So here is Update in the Air. A major incident has been declared across portions of England and Wales as Storm Dennis slammed into Europe. A record 700 flood warnings were posted across the UK as of Sunday, as rains fell on grounds previously saturated by Storm Sierra. Landslides were reported across Wales, while winds of up to 90 miles per hour were recorded in Scotland. Meanwhile, in Iceland, winds gusted up to 160 miles per hour, as a rare red warning for dangerous weather was put in place across the south of the island. Storm Dennis's pressure fell to 920 millibars, on par with Category 5 hurricanes such as Maria and Katrina. The storm was 7 millibars short of tying the record for a North Atlantic non-tropical storm, which was set back in 1993.
The national pastime of Norway is skiing, and the shift towards shorter winters has prompted the country to create an indoor ski resort that sits at the base of a mountain. Norway Snow is a 54,000 square foot ski resort that features a 1,600-foot downhill slope and a cross-country track that can stretch almost a mile. The developers conceived the resort as a place for residents to ski when bad weather affects the outdoor resorts and where tourists could sample alpine skiing during the summer vacations. The building has two zones, one cold and one hot. The ski resort itself is situated in the cold zone, and the terrain has been processed to the finished hill profile. Solvents, clay, and mountains have been removed and then filled with colt. Colt are broken fragments of mountains that have many edges so they cannot roll. The mountain bites provide good drainage as well. So if you want to hit the slopes in the Swiss Alps, you can go at any time you want.
Across the pond from the flooding in the UK, the United States has been dealing with its own heavy rain problems. A state of emergency was declared Saturday by the governor of Mississippi, Tate Reeves, as the capital city of Jackson braced for historic flooding. According to the National Weather Service office in Jackson, the Pearl River, which runs directly through the city, was expected to crest near 38 feet. Mandatory evacuations were issued for low-lying areas nearest the river as the state braced for some of the worst flooding since 1979, when the river crested at a record 43.2 feet. The National Guard in the state has been activated, and over 100,000 sandbags were filled in an effort to keep the rising water at bay.
Heavy mountain snows in recent weeks have caused several avalanches to be reported throughout the Rocky Mountains. One particular avalanche on Saturday morning took the life of two Colorado men, 10 miles north of the ski resort town of Vail. The avalanche occurred at around 9,800 feet in elevation and was reported to be 650 feet wide and 120 feet tall. Out of the trio who were snowbiking at the time, one man was able to dig himself out of the snow and call for help. More snow is expected in the Colorado mountains in the coming weeks, although brief periods of mild temperatures in between storms will keep the avalanche threat high.
With all the doom and gloom in the news about climate change and the impact it may have on the generations to come, it can be hard to stay optimistic about our future. So is it wrong to be hopeful when it comes to climate change? What psychologists have found is that there are two major routes in which we should direct our hope. First, they point out that in many cases, too many people place their hope and optimism on the shoulders of someone else. Psychologists say that hope emerges from two elements: personally determined goals and a pathway to reach these goals. This means that in order to actively have hope, we need to roll up our sleeves and take action ourselves. The second route is through collective action. Engaging with like-minded groups with a common goal is a strong way to develop hope. Being with a group of people devoted to taking action can provoke the feeling of being a part of something larger than oneself. That may be the feeling needed to tackle climate change, a challenge often seen as something larger than humanity.
An Antarctic record was broken, but the wrong kind. That's right, a record high temperature was broken for Antarctica on Sunday, February 9th, 2020. Brazilian scientists say they recorded a maximum temperature of 20.75 degrees Celsius, or 69 degrees Fahrenheit, on Seymour Island on February 9th. That reading was nearly 1 full degree higher than the long-standing Antarctic record of 19.8 degrees Celsius, or 67 degrees Fahrenheit, which was registered on Signy Island in January 1982. The news sparked concern on social media, particularly after it was shared by teenage climate activist Greta Thunberg. The World Meteorological Association has not yet confirmed the reading, although the potential high comes amid an already record-breaking summer season at the southern pole.
And now we go to a feature from our own Nick Guzzo.
Over the past few weeks, the flu virus has had its widespread grasp on the United States. The flu virus is one of the most well-known viruses in the world, and we are currently in the peak of flu season. This flu season, there has been an estimated 31 million cases of the flu reported in the United States. Influenza B is one of the most contagious strains of the flu and has an incubation period of 1 to 2 days. During this time, no symptoms are felt, but the virus is quick at work to attach itself to cells in the body that are best equipped to kill the virus. It affects these cells and then kills them. The virus has a variety of structures, but most are in the shape of a spear. During the winter, you may often hear the sayings, "Bundle up or you'll catch a cold." If you stay outside in the cold for too long, you will get sick. But are these sayings really true? Throughout winter, the lower humidity values help the flu survive longer, and colder weather hardens the virus's lipid envelope into a gel. A lipid envelope is the virus's outer surface. This envelope consists of fats, oils, cholesterol, and wax. The virus can also replicate better in temperatures below 37 degrees Fahrenheit and spread faster in air temperatures of around 41 degrees Fahrenheit. When humidity values increase, the flu's lifespan is lessened and warmer weather melts the virus's lipid envelope. People also happen to be indoors more and in close proximities during colder conditions, so the flu can be easily spread around. It does not have to be the winter to catch the flu, as cases get reported in the summer as well. The weather also impacts the immune system. Lower air temperatures slow a person's immune system's response and causes blood vessels to narrow. This slows the movement of white blood cells and takes the body longer to fight off an illness. Studies show that the weakened immune system from the cold and drier air is the main cause for so many flu cases in the winter. Now, the weather does not cause the flu, but clearly does have an impact on its spreadability. We have a few months till flu season tapers off, so it may be best to wash your hands, take some vitamin C, and stay home if you are feeling under the weather. For Up in the Air, I'm Nick Guzzo.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Now, Salix, I know we ended last week on a cold note with temperatures much below average, but the beginning of this week felt pretty nice.
Yeah, it felt like spring here in State College. It was a very quick turnaround in temperatures, and I'm really curious if we're going to be getting any chance of winter coming up in the next couple of weeks, too.
Yeah, I'm wondering the same. I know generally as we head later into February and March, temperatures start to rise, the days start to get a little bit longer. So let's throw it over to Zach at the Climate Wall, who has a look for us at the end of February and the beginning of March.
Thank you, Salix and Logan. Yes, as we begin to creep our way through February, where you should start to notice our average values of temperatures, they should start to increase. And luckily we have average high values of 38 degrees for February 20th and average low values of 22 for us here in State College. And our record values set back in 1930, on February 20th, 1930, we had a record high of 67 degrees. And then back just 5 years ago of -8 degrees in 2015. but I do not expect any of these to be coming to us here in State College anytime soon. Looking at the temperature outlook, this is valid February 25th through March 2nd. A little bit of west to east coast duality in terms of temperatures. As we zoom into the west coast, we're noticing as we creep our way into the Four Corners region, a bullseye of below normal, a high chance of below normal temperatures for them in the Four Corners region. And then as we zoom ourselves into the northeast region, we have a small chance of above normal temperatures for us here into the northeast region. And the precip outlook, this is a little different compared to what we're used to seeing, especially as we zoom into the Pacific Northwest. In the northern portions of California and Oregon, a high chance of below normal precipitation values for us here. And then looking into the northern portions of the Great Plains region, a bullseye set over South Dakota and Minnesota for a high chance of above normal precipitation. And then here in the northeast, a small chance of above normal precipitation for us, impacting a lot of the drought that we've been seeing. But some things that we have noticed is that California is working its way through. It's starting to see more increased drought levels. As the Four Corners region, we're starting to know more widespread and regional drought, especially zooming ourselves into the Texas region. This is something that we've been monitoring throughout the time of our show. This drought here in the southeastern portion of Texas, it is impacting nearly 12 million people throughout the southeast portion of Texas, something that we need to take note on, especially on a global level. But here into the northeast portion, the one thing that we are noticing is that Maryland has had some suppression in the drought. Since we had some systems work its way through the past few weeks, we are noticing that the drought monitor is no longer present for Maryland. And the snow depth total, which a lot of the country has been seeing snow, especially off into the interior Rocky Mountain regions. Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana, great ski weather with a lot of snow. So maybe if you're trekking your way out there for the spring break time, definitely could catch some snow on the slopes, especially as we look our way into the northern portions of the northeast. Again, high snow depth total out there. So again, something to look forward to if you're heading out there for some skiing for your spring break. But one thing we have to be wary of is the flu. As we look at the CDC flu index, we are noticing widespread flu through much of the country, except the outliers up in Oregon, where there is regional flu activity. Now, Salix and Logan at the desk, it is Thon weekend, and everything is for the kids this weekend, and everything for the forecast is for the kids because we are noticing some higher temperatures, especially as we look into the Saturday, Sunday time frame. We have mostly sunny skies, for our Saturday. So if you're waiting in line on Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be nice weather for you standing in line. And then Sunday is going to be, the sun is staying for us as we begin to close out our time on the Thon weekend. So I don't know about you guys. Are you guys going to be at the BJC? Because I know it will be popping for Thon.
Yes, I do plan on going to the BJC Friday evening. I like to be there when the ceremony kind of starts and see everything kick off. How about you, Salix?
Yeah, I'll be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, planning on spending my entire weekend at the BJC.
All right, well, we hope everyone has a fun time at Thon. Thankfully, the temperatures look to be above average in the mid-40s, so it shouldn't be too cold while you're out waiting in the lines. And thank you for joining us this week on Up in the Air, and join us next week in Up in the Air.